Hello everyone, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. My name is Kush Vasaf. I'm kind of preparing this video in a makeshift manner. Kindly forgive me for that. Please bear with the background noise. Okay, today I want to talk to you about this new film by Julia Ducournau, the filmmaker who debuted with Raw in 2015, a film which made quite a noise for the unique way in which it showed cannibalism. Um, this is the second film which he has made, and this film too made quite a lot of noise. It won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival. So you can understand that the film has a lot of depth and ideas that I would like to talk to you about. So basically, I want to give you some ideas. I want to give you some context about the film so that when you watch it, you kind of make sense of what's going on in the movie. Since many people have, had a problem with it on the internet, they are telling that the film was too abstract or it didn't make sense. I believe that the film had a lot to say, and the way the film was directed by the filmmaker, that has a lot to contribute for the film to be able to make sense. And I think Julia Ducournau did a great job at that. So basically, the story is about this girl who had an accident in her childhood. Something happened to her brain, and that has sort of affected her, and she can't function like a normal human being. I mean, it's not in the sense that she's a crazy or a maniac who can't present herself to the world, but in the dark corners of a there are some certain dark corners of her personality that uh, she hides normally, but they kind of come out in alleys, and in closed rooms, or sometimes even in the public toilets of airports. So basically in this film, what Juliet does is it's she sort of has a fascination with body. If you've seen Raw, you'd realize that she has a kind of a fascination with the characters and their bodies, and at to what limits can the bodies be pushed. I would go on to say that to she treats the subjects like a monkey in a medical room. She's kind of experimenting with them and seeing to what extent can we can push these bodies and so stuff like that. Both of our films have had a huge medical background to them, and that can be directly off to Julia being brought up by two parents who were actively working in the medical field. Mm. So what happens in this film is that what Julia, the character Alex, her name is, I think, Alex or Alexi is the name of the main character. What she does is that she has got problem with this brain and got a strange fascination with cars. There's a very famous scene from this film where she's seen making out with a car. We don't exactly know how one does that, but we know that. But from the film, we sense that there have been serious repercussions that can be seen on a body. And following that making out with the car, she also gets involved in a murder, and now she's running away because the police are after her. This film is not so much about the plot as to what happens to the character, and how she perceives that. She changes her gender, and she's on the wanted list. So what she does is she comes across this photo of a missing son, and she shaves her hair and shaves her eyebrows and kind of starts resembling him. She does some punches. She punches her nose so that there's a sort of dent which exactly matches the boy. And to seek asylum, she goes along with the father of this son. Um, so this film talks a lot about trauma and abandonment, and what it is to be able to find love, and what she does, she takes this concept and takes it to the extreme. She's like um, a person who has involved in violence, and who has been kind enough to kill a girl who kissed her. How can she experience love? How can she be attracted to someone? And the person she gets attracted to also has his own demons to deal with. He's had a missing son for the better part of his life. He couldn't see his son growing up. He had a divorce with his wife, and so he's not a very fit person in mentally. Though physically he's a beast. He works for the fire department, has his own company which deals with the fire accidents. Uh, uh, the film is about you know when we are watching the film, we are about when will this nightmare end. Both the we as audience and the characters both sort of ask the same questions, because if you've seen Julia's first film, she does not shy away from showing some of the most violent scenes on the screen. And violent not in the sense that Tarantino does. Tarantino's violence is very enjoyable to watch in some sense. You like watching violence in Tarantino's film, but in her film you like fidget in your seat, and you kind of shy your eyes away from the screen because because the camera just stays there too long, and the violence is so real, so extreme that it might want to make you throw up, or if you have a soft heart you might even want to close the film, or you might even start crying if you're seeing the film in a theater. There have been news of people fainting in the hall when they were seeing this film. Okay, so what happens is, okay, now another point in this film is that after making out with the car, she has had these strange scars on her body, and she has a bump in her stomach. So it's almost like as if she's pregnant with the baby of a girl, and that makes us question that is she going to deliver a car? I mean, it's abstract enough to be able to get pregnant with the after making out with the car. Then what the hell is this person's gonna deliver when she's 9 months are completed. The climax of the film is very symbolic, in the sense that it doesn't make sense to a normal person. But if you are following, but you've been following the movie throughout, you realize that the climax isn't that much about having an end in the normal usual sense of the story, but it's more about the characters. It's a very symbolic end, and sort of a new start for both Alex and Vincent, the man who she's residing with. There are scenes where specifically where the movie wants you to realize that this isn't your normal film where things make a lot of sense, like when she's hugged by her mother, who thinks that she's a boy. I mean, can't you realize when you hug a girl that she's a girl and not a boy? So the film wants you to know that don't make sense of it logically. Try to understand it from the perspective of these characters. The film hints at how trauma continues to live across generations, until a healer turns up and sort of rescues you know the person from that trauma, which in turn is very symbolic. Very ironically, this film is shown is that the Vincent is a rescuer. He's a fireman, and he rescues people from the darkest of most painful of accidents. But he himself is in some way trapped in his body. He does this with injections to himself, and but after finding Alex, Alexi, she's he's in some way finding a rescue from himself, and the torture that he's giving to himself and his body. With that, I would like to conclude. What I would say is that Julia has picked up a very abstract concept for her film, and she provides meaning to it. I would recommend this film highly to you. I think this is one of the most This is one of the better films that have come across in the past. I would really want you to watch it and have a good time watching it. Thanks for tuning in.